Hello, my name is Mia Maggie, and welcome to our second episode of our Coach series. Today I'm here with Coach Bill Rumely. How was your day?
My day was great.
What first interested you in coaching volleyball?
When I was real little, my older brother played volleyball with some guys, and when they would set the net up in this park area, I'd always be hanging out. I'd ride my bike over there, and I was too little to play with them, but I would just kind of hang out, and then eventually they let me start to play a little bit of volleyball with them.
Was that like an everyday thing?
No, it was mostly just on weekends, because when I was growing up, we also played basketball and baseball and football, so volleyball was kind of like an extra sport because there weren't any organized teams around at that point for young kids.
How long have you been coaching volleyball for?
I think this is like my 31st year here at St. Michael's. And then I also coach high school volleyball, and I'm in my 14th year of coaching high school.
Did you have any children that played volleyball?
Yes, I have two daughters, and my older daughter played volleyball here at St. Michael's, and then she played for a couple of years in high school when she went to Cecina. And then my younger daughter played here, and I started coaching when she was in 4th grade here. And I coached all the way up through her 8th grade year, and then she played at Cecina. And then she also played in college. She played at the University of Kentucky. And then she played in France, in Europe, and then since then she's been coaching. She coaches college volleyball now.
Oh.
So.
What are you looking forward to this season?
Well, in the past few years, we've only been able to have one team, and we had kids from 8th grade, sometimes all the way down to 5th grade, all on the Cadet A team. And so now finally, some of those guys who were 5th graders playing with me 3 years ago are now finally 8th graders, and they'll be in their 4th year playing with me. And I just enjoy the way that they've progressed, and they've matured in playing volleyball, and they've gotten better and better each year.
Having many girls returning to play this year, how do you plan or continue to build the program stronger for them?
Well, I have 7 8th graders on the team, and I've never had that before. Last year we had 2. I think the year before that we had a couple. And I have 1 7th grader. So in terms of experience in volleyball, I've got more girls that have more experience playing than I've ever had in the last number of years.
What was the most 8th graders that you've ever had?
I think when I coached my daughter's team, we had 7 kids on the team, and they were all 8th graders.
What skills or areas have you been focused on in practice?
We start with basics each year because we're only in our 2nd week of practice, but we work on passing, we work on serving, we've worked on hitting a little bit. Today we worked on serve-receive, where everybody needing to know exactly where they need to be when the other team is serving the ball to us.
Do you run certain plays?
We haven't gotten to the point yet this season to run any plays, but we're just basically working on passing to target and then, setting up an offense.
What do you see as your biggest team strengths heading into the season?
I think the fact that I have so many girls that have been playing in this gym for so long, and they know each other very well, and they enjoy each other's company and enjoy being teammates with each other, that they really meld together very well. And I think that's going to be one of our strong points.
That sounds great. What are your expectations for the season as this year's 8th graders step up onto the team?
Well, I have high expectations because we have so many 8th graders for once. And it's hard to tell because you never know. We don't even know yet which division we're going to be in. Sometimes we're in a division that is our schools that have about the same size as we do. Last year we were up in a division with really big schools, and it was very difficult to compete with them because we had younger kids on the team too. So if we end up in a division with schools of our size and about the same type, then I think we should do very well.
What division did you guys end up in last year?
I think it was 2A. There's National and American, and I can't really remember exactly the specific one, but we moved up from National to American last year.
What is your biggest challenge of coaching middle school volleyball?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that as compared to high school, where usually you've got kids that have been playing for 5 or 6 years already, we have a lot of kids that are either have just played a year or 2 or are brand new to the sport. And so you have to kind of break them in and get things, the very basic things taught to them first before you can kind of get them together as a team. And that's a bit of a challenge. Hopefully it won't be as much of a challenge this year because, like I said, some of these guys are in their fourth year being on the 8th grade team, even though they start, way back in 5th grade.
Have you already assigned like positions for girls?
We have not yet. We have not yet.
How do you keep players motivated during tough stretches of the season?
I think the key for that is I try to remind them that it's a sport and you play sports for fun. That's why they call it playing sports. And win or lose, we always try to get something good out of it. And we can learn lessons from winning and we can learn lessons from losing. And we always try to be gracious winners if we win, and we try not to be upset if we lose. We just do the best we can and play the hardest we can.
What impact do you want to leave on your players this season?
I think that there's so many things that you get from sports. You get a sense of an activity that you like to participate in. You get to be a teammate, okay? You get to have teammates, so you learn how to get along with your teammates and how to support each other, and how to operate as a team. There's some sports that are solo events. If you're playing tennis singles, it's you against another person. But in a team setting, there's so many things that go into that, and I think that those attributes that you learn by playing a team sport help you in life later when you're either going to school or you're working and you have to be part of a team. And even if you're at work, you might be the boss and you might be somebody who has a boss, but you're part of a team that's trying to get something done. And if you learn that when you're young by being a member of an athletic team, that usually goes a long way to help you through your the tasks you have to do in life.
Do you have any pre-game traditions that you like to do with the team?
Nothing specific. We do a certain warm-up usually, but obviously too, as you know, we pray before each match and before each practice. And I like it because we sometimes do memorized prayers, Hail Mary and Our Father, Glory Be. But then sometimes we do spontaneous prayers too, and I think that's really great because it gives the kids a chance to speak to whatever is on their mind that day. If they have a family member that is sick or somebody that needs help, they bring up that, and we pray for those people too. And the key there is, I didn't realize this really because I've been at St. Michael's for so long, but when I went to public school and started coaching, you can't pray in school. You can't pray before games. You can't pray with your team unless they initiate it. And I've only had that happen one time when we were at an away game and the freshmen were playing in another gym, and I went over to check and make sure they had everything they needed. And when I walked in, they were in a circle saying a prayer that they had initiated. And they said, "Coach, do you want to get in here?" And I said, "Absolutely." So I jumped in and they just said a prayer. But I would not have been able to initiate that prayer. But since they did it, I was able to jump in there. And I can't initiate that in a non-Catholic school. So,
what keeps you coming back to St. Michael each year?
Well, first of all, it's my parish. I've been here for a long time. I got married at this parish 47 years ago. My wife and I have been coming here for years and years and years. My kids went to school here, so I have really strong feelings about this faith community and this church and school. And as long as they have a volleyball team and they need a coach, then I'm always happy to step up and help coach when I can.
Yeah, sounds great. What is one of your favorite memories from past seasons of coaching?
In general, I like to see the kids who want to continue to play go to their high schools and go out for the high school team and make the high school team because they've had a good foundation here. As a specific memory, back when my daughter was in 8th grade, my daughter Sarah, in 2002, we played in the city championship tournament, and we were in Division 4. So there were five divisions. The big schools were Division 1, and then 2, 3, 4, and 5. We were in the second to the smallest division, and we beat St. Matthew's, who was, I think, the Division 2 champion. And then we had to beat St. Pius from the north side of Indianapolis. They were the Division 1 champion. And the game was downtown at the CYO Center, and we organized a bus. Everybody paid $1 to ride one of the school buses down to the CYO Center. And St. Pius had about, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 parents there, and there weren't any school kids there. And we had about 50 or 60 fans and parents. And we're going up against this really big school that wins the tournament almost every year. And we surprised them and we shocked them, and we ended up beating St. Pius. And the CYO people told us that was the very first time that a Division IV team had ever won a city championship in any sport, because usually that's difficult because we're the smaller schools. But that was kind of the highlight of me coaching here at St. Michael's when we won the city championship. That's what this t-shirt is all about. It says City Champions, St. Michael's Crusaders, 2002. So.
Well, that's about all the time that we have today. Thank you, Coach, for sitting down and taking the time to sit and talk with me. And thank you guys for watching.
Thank you, Mia.